Hey. So, um, those of you who are over here from TikTok, thank you. Welcome. As I said, I'm building up my YouTube platform now, and because since I got the most videos over here, I started on YouTube first, and so my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you get anything out of my content, please subscribe. Whether you hit the bell or not is your choice, but please do me a good solid and um, subscribe. So I'm going to get right to it because I'm only going to do this for about an hour. And today was the last day of or yesterday was the last day of the workshop, self-talk, and very intense. So what I'm going to do is post it in a couple weeks on YouTube. What I wanted to talk about, Phoenix, are reparations, just to start it off. And when I say reparations, I mean spiritual reparations. And a lot of people don't, I've said this before on my TikTok lives and posted a little bit on my Instagram. But, and by the way, if you want to keep in the loop and if you want to become, support me through becoming a Patreon member, all of that is in the link tree link that's in the description. Okay, so please click on that, check it out, and hit me up. Spiritual reparations, Phoenixes, comes when you know who you are. See, when you know who you are in the Most High, when you know what your purpose is, when you are aware that you come from a powerful bloodline, that your ancestors were no joke, that they didn't play about you in the physical, in the 3D realm, and they're sure as hell not going to play about you when they're in the spiritual realm. I take my clients through reveal, heal, grow, and show. Those are 4 seemingly simple steps that actually dig real deep. They're excavating tools, right? Because when you unpack all the pain that is inside of you, right? When from childhood, those wounds, those things that keep you from thinking that you're enough, maybe, I remember watching a episode on SUV with, oh gosh, I can't pronounce her name, but it had Ice-T in there, the sex unit, or victims unit, SVU is, yeah, I always get it wrong. So I remember there was an episode, and she found out that she was that her mother had her, trigger warning, but that her mother had her as a result of a rape, right? And so that can be used by darkness, by evil, to keep us down, to keep us thinking that we have to keep a part of us hidden, right? And we can only share so much, and we can't stick up for ourselves too much because people might start digging really deep, right? We all have things in our closet. We all have skeletons in our closet. We all have things that we're not proud of. But when we start unpacking, Phoenixes, when I take my clients through and we start unpacking, we get the revelations, right? Let's say you start off with, okay, I want to start my own business, but this is, I always feel afraid of this, I'm afraid of getting clients. Okay, why are you afraid of getting clients? Okay, so I know for myself, I had to pose this question to myself. And I asked God to reveal it to me. It's like, please, why am I anxious when at the anticipation of, receiving sales for coaching or my workshops or my master classes or, Patreons or whatever. And I was like, well, why do I get this anxiety just at the thought, when that's the actual goal, right? And it's my dream. And what was revealed to me, again, this was back when I was a kid. You sometimes, what is revealed, you may not want to go back to your childhood, but I guarantee you, your childhood was a foundation spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically for how you would grow up, for how you would continue to evolve. And many of us had our emotional intelligence, the growth of our emotional intelligence stunted. We had our bodies stunted because of some of the things that we were subjected to. I don't know about you, but I go through fight, freeze, fawn. And if I freeze, that means my whole entire body freezes. That means my organs, even my digestive system, even stops working the way that it's supposed to. Because now we're in, do I have to fight or do I have to run? Or should I just stand here and hope that nobody sees me? Or does kissing ass, is that going to help? Placating to somebody's, so that they don't hurt me or whatever. Is that going to help, right? So we've been stunted. And the whole thing, and some of us, it's depending to the degree that we've been stunted, or traumatized or whatever, will be the degree that we need to excavate, and to continue to focus on the issue at hand and make sure that it is eradicated. Because sometimes we keep things, we keep our survival tactics, we keep our survival mode even when we don't need it. When we don't need our survival tools that we used when we were growing up, right? Or we haven't upgraded them at least, we still keep those toxic survival tools, or those survival tools become toxic. Especially, at least, we don't even think about it, but at least upgrading them. So when those things are revealed, you heal it and you grow spiritually, right? Because those things are no longer tethering you down. They're no longer a toxic cord that's connected to you, that's filled with shame, that's filled with guilt, that's filled with oppression, that's filled with sadness, that's filled with, oh my gosh, if people find this out, then I'll never get married and nobody will ever love me. I'll never be able to have my own business. I'll always be in poverty because my grandparents were in poverty. Their mother and father were in poverty, right? I'll never have a healthy relationship because everybody in my family is toxic, right? I'll never, be able to wear the clothes that I want to wear because of somebody that took advantage of me. It goes deep, Phoenixes, but I will tell you this. And the topic is reparations. So starting off with the topic of reparations. I have some things just written down that I thought I would share. When you have the courage to face your demons and the demons that other people placed in you, and you clear both out, that's when you get attacked then, because when you stop reacting from that wounded child, when you stop reacting with those toxic survival tools that are no longer needed, when you stop reacting instead of responding, right? When you stop reacting and you respond to situations with emotional intelligence because you've done the work, you've healed, and you've grown up. So you're no longer working from this traumatized child. Right? You can have the heart of a child. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't look at your life as you age with the eyes of a child. There's so much out here for us to heal, for us to grow, including prayer. And prayer is just having a conversation with the Most High, conversation with your spiritual team. I do it quite frequently, especially when I'm being attacked, which is what's brought up the topic of reparations. Because honestly, Phoenix says, the reason why, and I wanted to do this last video on this channel, on this social media platform that I have, before I go on a hiatus and just focus on my documentary and writing for my script. because I have been under such heavy attack. See, when you are doing everything that you need to do for yourself, you are in your purpose. Whatever has been revealed to you, that is because you've cleaned out your attics. You've cleaned out your closets. There's no more skeletons, right? There's no more stinky mold and mothballs. There's none of that. When you've cleaned that out, then when people start attacking you to try and get you to go back the way from just, to turn into that pillar of salt, so to speak, to go back to the type of lifestyle or way of thinking and way of living that you had been doing before, and you refuse because you're focused, because you said, this time I'm going to go ahead and do it. This time I'm not turning back come hell and high water. I will tell you, Phoenix is rising. I was that one when I became homeless at 40 years old. I said, I don't care, Lord, whether it kills me. I don't care whether I am sliding myself on the concrete with my tongue because my limbs are cut off. I don't care. I am going to live my way into a new way of thinking. I'm going to change our legacy, when I'm going to be the one that will get us out of poverty, whether it's just by letting go of generational curses, healing that, and upgrading and updating our spiritual bloodline, our spiritual tree, because the only reason why I know that I am here is because of the ones who came before me, the ones that I never even met, but knew that I was coming through at a time where it was going to be hellacious. So they spent that time doing what they needed to do to prepare me even before I was a thought. They didn't even know what I looked like. Those were my Celtic ancestors, my First Nation ancestors, my African ancestors. Because quite frankly, I've been protected majority of my life because I've been by myself. You know, when you come into this sick, toxic, narcissistic world by yourself in this country, nonetheless. The only thing they want to do is devour you, break you down meticulously, insidiously, sadistically, unless you've proven that you're pliable. Unless you've proven that you can assimilate, that you've been assimilated already. That's what our parents are supposed to do, is to assimilate us. Some use the tactic of trauma because that was the tactic that was used on them. And some specialize in things that they want to carry out. Doesn't mean that just because you have, you're into textiles or whatever, and somebody else is, so you train them up in textiles and then all you know is textiles. Doesn't mean that it's a business with integrity, but it doesn't mean that it's not, right? We all grow up in different type of soil. But there are some of us Phoenixes that came in here divine. Came in here, when I say that, I mean that we came in here remembering past lives. We came in here with special abilities, special gifts. As I've said, there's a difference because I also coach people on transitioning out of cluster B personality relationships. Cluster B personalities do not mirror us, that we do not mirror them. They mimic. We are the original. We are the authentic. Receipts and all. So when you're dealing with cluster B personalities, they are going to mimic what it's like. It's only when they find a target do they try and mirror what they see from the data that they've collected in their target and how they would like to, be what their soulmate is, or whatever they're yearning for, that they can mimic that. They can say the words, but they can't produce the product. So when you've done your work, Phoenixes, reparations are in store for those coming from the bloodlines of those who assaulted you without provocation. A lot of people are talking about, oh, I want reparations, and now in California, they're talking about California is really where I reside, and they're such hypocrites. Because this is a state of sex trafficking, fentanyl, gang members who are literally running the state from north to south, north, central, south. I mean, it's one gang. One gang. So when they're talking about reparations for those with the lineage, here's my thing. Because I'm not even screwing with it. I would rather have spiritual reparations than material reparations. Because if I have spiritual reparations, because when slavery of any form, whether it be the Hawaiians who have been enslaved, the Japanese who have been enslaved. I mean, everybody has had slavery at one point in time. It's only been one group of people by another group of people who, people don't want to admit, but one group of people who also claimed to be oppressed at one point in time, but was killing their own kind for being Christian. But anyway, we won't get into that. But, one group of people enslaving another group of people consistently, because with cluster B personalities, you were always going to be their property. So do the math. I've talked about collectivist, narcissistic cultures, races before. Hold on just a moment. All right, thank you for your patience. But yes, I've talked to on TikTok, and you guys can go get my replays and the TikTok live replays playlist on my channel here. So I've talked about collectivist narcissist cultures. So I would rather have reparations in the spiritual realm, because the first thing that a narcissist or cluster B personalities attack is not your finances, it's your mind. They got to make you believe that you do not deserve to be seen as human. You don't deserve to be loved. You don't deserve to be respected. You don't deserve to be valued. You don't deserve to be acknowledged in any way, shape, or form. And that has gone on for generations after generation after generation, to where nobody needs to be prodded or poked or conditioned anymore. They just do it because it's called epigenetics. It's genetic. It's in your cells now. And especially by the way, which is why I started off with self-talk, the way that we talk to ourselves, we are parroting what we've heard from childhood our parents say. Oh, well, because you got diabetes, your grandma and everything, everybody had diabetes and you need to have diabetes. Do you know that my cluster B mother, real mother, was upset because I told her I have never had diabetes? I mean, she literally, like, her whole demeanor changed over the phone. Oh, so you've never had diabetes, huh? Like, no. And I almost started to feel ashamed that I had been working out and eating healthy back and forth, back and forth. It was hard to keep up because I had distractions. I had, bills to pay. I wasn't always on, able to, able. It's really not. What I found is that eating healthy is not expensive. All you got to do is get a bucket of salad and your favorite salad dressing, and don't lay it on too thick, and eat that. You can eat that for 30 days, and add put in a smoothie. Fruits and vegetables are not expensive. I've never understood why people say, oh, eating healthy is expensive. Eating healthy is not expensive. It's actually cheap. It's refreshing. But she was so mad because I was not a diabetic. And here she was, a diabetic, a meth head, old crack addict and a meth head, and was taking methadone, alcoholic, right? Just, had all these problems, promiscuous and all this stuff. And she was literally mad at me because I was not a diabetic. So the workshop that we just got finished with, Phoenix, on self-talk is you don't need to be regurgitating like it's a trophy. Oh yeah, I'll probably have diabetes, as if people state things emphatically. You're telling the universe, you're telling the Most High, you're telling your soul tribe, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and continue this instead of break it. So it's very important the way that we talk to ourselves once we start healing. Once we heal all that trauma that's been holding us back and we feel unstuck, then you got to do the maintenance, Phoenixes. You got to do the maintenance on encouraging yourself continuously, because everything is going to be new now. It's going to be new. Doing the things that you like. If you wanted to buy land, and always wanted to buy land and build a bed and breakfast or a garden or container homes or whatever, right? It's going to be something new, and you're going to get discouraged, because the reason why people go back to their old way of thinking and never get their reparations, their spiritual reparations at least, is because God will restore back to you everything that you lost. But the thing of it is, if you can't do the work, if you're not prepared to be able to get those blessings, to get back what you've lost, pressed down and shaken and all that stuff, if you're not willing to do the work, it's never going to come. And then a lot of people get mad at God, but there's laws. There's laws that everybody has to live by. If not, you're not going to get that result. These are spiritual laws. These aren't laws of man. God is not going to set you up to fail. God is a God of love. So when you say, hey, this is what I want. I want to move out of this toxic environment with the gun shooting and the prostitution and the sex trafficking and the bickering and the arguing over race and all this other kind of crap. I want to move to my soul country, state, or city. I want to move to what resonates with my vibration. I don't care if I gotta fly. I don't care if I gotta if I got pets, I gotta take the pets or whatever. I don't care. This is what I want. So then you're going to be prepared. God will never set you up. Your spiritual team will never set you up for failure. That would be you when you don't follow direction. You have to learn to be obedient in order to get your reparations. It's not hard. It's just it's tough to go through some of the stuff that I went through on my shadow journey was cathartic. It was painful because I hadn't looked at it in so long, or I hadn't looked at it in the way that the Most High was telling me to look at it, was showing it to me then. When I got on the streets at 40, when I was homeless, I said, I never want to do this again. I don't know what's going to happen. And honestly, I just expected to die, but I was going to die trying. So reparations come. The reason why, again, I brought up reparations is because a lot of the psychic attacks, witchcraft has been very popular since they dismantled the Catholic Church and Christianity, pretty much, with all these scandals of outing the pastors for fraud or embezzlement or overspending or same-sex relationships or whatever, right? The same things that they were preaching against, right? Making them seem to be hypocrites. Because when you do that, nobody wants to be associated with you. So what had happened is some people, they just went on a deeper soul journey, right? I am personally am not a religionist, but right now, I mean, I practice Hinduism, but I grew up with the Bible, and there's nothing particularly wrong with the Bible at all. It's the people who wield it sometimes, like a weapon, like a sword. You can't protect anything with the Bible in its physicality. It's understanding the metaphysics of what you're reading. So when people attack you, Phoenixes, when they're attacking you, I have been under heavy psychic attack. It's been heavy psychological warfare, been heavy witchcraft. And I thought it was over, and it rekindled again. And I've talked about it. I'm not going to keep rehashing, but I've talked about it, and I still have to upload. If you are a supporter through Patreon, then you will get the replays in the $15 supporter tier. That's where those go. I just have not uploaded them yet because I've been working on affirmations and healing sounds for the $35 supporter tier on Patreon, which is, and actually both tiers get it. It's just one's 10 to 15 minutes and the other's 35 minutes to an hour long. So basically you can go to sleep with affirmations, because this is all part of renewing your mind, calming your mind and saying your own affirmations to the sound of rain or to, the crackling of fire, whatever. I mean, I am all about that calm, peace, woo-saw. Bring it to something that's manageable, because things are really hectic. But anyway, in another TikTok, I had talked about the witchcraft that I've been under for a long time, and what I figured is that some of it's been like these graveyard spells, these coffin spells, because I was getting ready to leave, and it still amazes me that cluster B personalities, even though you know the pathology, meaning you know what makes them who they are, you know the tactics, you know the characteristics, but it's still amazing that these are not the type of creatures that are going to let you go and live your life. They keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on, because, and it's a mixture. They're talking about revenge, and I'll get into that too. But I have been attacked to where it's been so thick and so toxic mentally is where they're attacking me now. They attack me, especially when I go to sleep, because when I'm awake, they can't really, but when I'm asleep, they think I'm not protected, right? How cowardly are these people to attack you in your sleep and try and infect your subconscious mind? So I go to sleep listening to my own affirmations. So whatever I'm sharing with you, Phoenixes, is what's kept me winning in this spiritual warfare. Because these are people who don't want you to succeed. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, a psychopath, a sociopath, a histrionic, a antisocial personality, all that stuff, if you've been in a relationship with one of these people, you know dang well that they'll start hoovering. Hoovering means that after the discard and, you don't come crawling back to them, then they will kind of go, go and humble themselves, pseudo humble themselves, and start, trying to woo you, woo you with your favorite food, woo you with your, by showing up unannounced at your work, freaking you out, obvious stalker behavior. But everybody says, oh, well, that person really loves you. Now, see, with the people, I got 3 people who have been harassing me, especially, and they're using other people to harass me. So I've been that survivor am that survivor of gang stalking that everybody's talking about now. But before, when I was going through it, everybody was telling people who would even use the term that they were crazy. But that's what these guys do. In my area, it's actually a Hispanic gang, a Mexican gang that is using people in the city that they've held hostage with their drugs, with their bullying. This is how they gain power. It's how they gain power in the South. It's how they're gaining power in, Central, how they gain power in Northern, right? It's going to be how they gain power through whatever their little plans are. But I'm the one that hasn't really taken it. Because when you bully me, I'm going to find out why. And Phoenix, the thing of it is we have been blamed. When you start healing and whatever has been revealed, if it's especially from your foundation, which is your childhood, because that's when you start learning about what things are, how to articulate verbally, what's a cow, what's a dog. Not everything on 4 legs is a dog. Not everything on 4 legs is a cow. Not every cow is a dairy cow, right? There's a process that we're supposed to go through. Some of us are self-supporting, right? And we got through by our own sheer willpower and the grace of God, right? But then when we started to have a relationship with our spirit team and the Most High, then things got a heck of a lot better. But also, more attacks started coming. So what I'm saying is, if you don't know what you're thinking about, if you have things that are unhealed, you're going to think that you are actually sick. Now, some cases you will be. In some cases you will be. I'm not a doctor, but what I know for myself and my experiencing with this cultural, with this race of people that are gang stalkers and are using witchcraft to gain control and to retaliate and get revenge on people when guns don't work, right? Because too many people, they're tired of going to jail. They're tired of going to prison, right? So one thing I can say is it feels, from the attacks that I have gone through, that I've had at me, it has felt as if I am actually going through, I'm actually having a stroke, or I've actually had an aneurysm, right? Or I've actually had a psychosis. And it's not me. It's that person who is focusing on my picture, my video, using me as a punching bag through their Raiders pillow, which I've had done. And I have gifts too. So I can see a bit in the spirit. I can see who's attacking me. I know who's attacking me. I don't play dumb and I don't play small anymore, right? If people don't like what you're saying, Phoenix, is because everybody has psychic abilities. Everybody has special divine gifts. You don't have to be a part of the X-Men or the Justice League or anything like that. We already have it. That's what they're talking about. We already have it. And at one time, we had it more than we do now. So that's what I'm talking about with reparations. If people are using your picture, using your image, and putting you in their little cauldron, or putting you in a jar, or putting you in a coffin, trying to do love binding domination spells on you, trying to cause you to lose your job, lose your sanity, all that stuff. It is very intense. See, people don't know though, when you attack people who have never done anything to you, because I will tell you something, people who rock with demons and conjure demons because they're about that life, they know what they're doing is wrong. People with cluster B personalities, the narcissist, the sociopath, the psychopath, the borderline personality and histrionic and antisocial and the like, they know what they're doing is wrong. It's not that they are sick. It's not that, it's just they are delusional about their importance in the world, but it's not that they're sick, because if they were sick, they could be healed. If they were sick, they would want to be healed. You know, when some of them start rotting from the inside out, they start looking for that healing. They start looking for that doctor. But before then, they start looking for healing through through empaths and earth angels and light workers, people who are natural healers. That is their purpose, is to heal. That's what they start looking for. That's why they want us around. But when they start doing stuff because we won't play the game, the role that they want us to. I've had a succubus. I have had a pedophile. I have had an old 80-year-old, she was 70 at the time, about in her mid 70s at the time, all sexualized me, all tried to break me down and abuse me and actually hold me hostage like a caged bird. All lied on me and told everybody that, oh yeah, she took advantage of us. This is when I was homeless. Oh, I helped you. No, you didn't help me. When I help somebody, it takes them to the next level. If you say I need help with bus fare, train fare, or gas money, I give you enough to get to where you're going to go, if it's on my heart. Right? But I'm always going to be obedient to the Most High, because I may give you enough to get you to at least to a halfway point, and then somebody else is supposed to take over. So when those people were telling me they were sexualizing me, see, they were, you know, there's this TikTok thing, voice sound that's on TikTok that says, hey, tell me your dog's clingy without telling me your dog is clingy. Right? Tell me that these women are sexual predators without tell me these women are sexual predators without telling me that they're sexual predators. I have never in my life met so many women who were sexual predators and had partners, though. Had partners. But made it seem, and this is what, when we get into the cluster B personality, because they can do what, Phoenixes? They can compartmentalize. They're never going to be faithful to you. They're too afraid of abandonment and too afraid that you're going to leave after you find out and see their true face. You're going to pull back that curtain and actually stare at them and laugh. And they don't want that to happen. And just in case that happens, they don't want to be alone. So they're going to have many partners that they play different roles with, that they have different personas with. And I've said it before, they can turn themselves off like a light switch, on and off. So these were people, there will be people who will exploit you under the guise of helping you when you're going through something. I had a succubus. Well, again, I've said this my first time with the succubus, but instead of always saying her name, I just call her a succubus, because that is what she is. She's a gold digger, and she's a black widow. She likes to, she had a husband who she, didn't acknowledge, but kept him around because he was her primary source, secondary source, but he was the main one making all the money, because she didn't want to work. She wanted to be a kept woman. Kids didn't live with her. They all lived with their baby daddies. She sold nails. right? Which is not enough. She wasn't selling enough nails to do anything with. And then I guess she did DoorDash. But the point of it is that one thing that cluster B personalities are really good at doing is what I said, mirroring. So they can get a job that they never go to. They can have multiple and, do one every once in a while when they need some, extra cash without telling their partners, or to use it to try and make themselves look good. There's various reasons, but, ways that they create this story for themselves. But the thing of it is, with this one, I didn't ask her for anything because God had already provided for me. I was grateful that I was living out of a hotel instead of on the street or living out of a van, being stressed out with people calling on me and making false claims and all this other kind of stuff. And she was a part of that group, I would later find out, right? I was grateful that I had 40 hours a week and that I could just work right across the street. Literally almost about, just like a block down. 5 minutes away. So I was making good money. I am still making good money. But there was a point in time where she was literally trying to get me fired for rejecting her, for taking the higher road, for wanting somebody who I organically was attracted to and not somebody who, number one, I was never attracted to, and number two, was already taken. That was an old me who was dying for attention because I was tired of being alone, right? I like my own time by myself, but there had been times before I just said, okay, I can't just sleep around. Like, I don't even know, because I haven't been in a relationship for over 15 years. I have not been in, let's say 15 years. I haven't been in a relationship for 15 years. Which means I haven't had sex, I haven't dated, I haven't done anything. And people are absolutely freaked out about that, right? People who want to take advantage of you or want to siphon your energy when you know how to block them off, because why? You're no longer a people pleaser, Phoenixes. And they start attacking you. That is no reason to attack somebody. It's a crazy, deranged, delusional individual who believes that, oh, I'm going to spend the rest of my time, the rest of my life, trying to kill you with witchcraft, trying to send you diseases and create synthetically, but make it look natural, all these health concerns, so that way you're bedridden. So when your blessings do come, right, when the reparations for everything that I've done to you, because they know that they got to pay up. They know that they got to pay up for what they've done. Right? I have one who has been after me for God knows how fucking long. Right? Like, I know it's been over 8 years. But it's been after me for so damn long because she gets tarot readings on me. Because that's her lifestyle. She's a part of that gang membership. And they use witchcraft, and so they, have their seers and have whatever, and so that they can. And one thing that you will know with people who are toxic and character disturbed, or i.e. cluster B personalities, they always want to have the upper hand. So they'll astral project, they'll remote view, they'll fragment their bodies, their souls, to come to you and hoover over you that way. There's nothing worse than a cluster B personality that is hoovering you in a way that is not tangible for everybody else to see, but only you know, Phoenixes. Only you know. And that sucks. It's crazy making. It's part of gaslighting, right? I remember when, abusers have evolved, unfortunately, to be able to still abuse. And like I said, witchcraft has grown exceptionally huge. It's grown since 2000. It's grown. But these people, what they forget is when you see, when I did the work, and I'm maintaining myself because it's a lifestyle. It's who I am as I've found my purpose, right? Which is happens to be my passion. So I found my purpose, and they are blocking every way they can to chip or cause me to be taken a few steps back, right? What they don't realize is that all that is reparations. Every time they ding you because you've done the work. So now you're being attacked, and that's on God's time now. Now they're on God's turf. And that's why God said, touch not my anointed. But God can't help you, right? The Most High and your spirit team can only do so much until you wake up and start actually doing your shadow work. Because once you've actually kicked those ghosts out of the closet, given your previous oppressors back their demons. I remember when I did that to my biological father, he had SA'd my a relative, and for some reason I was blamed for it, even though I'm not biologically a male. Nor would I have ever thought of doing anything such crazy, toxic, perverted thing. But when I gave that back to him, because he knew what he was doing. See, there's patterns that they cause other people, they cause the people around them to go through. Right? When you top out of that pattern, when you top out of those toxic cycles, Phoenixes, your family will discard you because they don't know how to control you. Some of them they'll keep that tether to you though, because they want your energy. They just don't want you around them, because it's embarrassing that they got most of the family controlled. And here you are, the black sheep, dancing to the beat of your own drum, and they don't like the rhythm. It's not hypnotic enough. It's too loving, it's too caring, it's too healing. That right there is why you can't be a part of your own family, Phoenixes, as the black sheep, because you're too healing. You know too much, you see too much, and it's terrifying for them. And they don't want to be outed. When you're dealing with narcissists, they don't want to be outed. When I found out about what I found out about one of the women, it was, she came at me hard. It's like, but then it doesn't matter, like I said, because anytime they come after you, after you've done your work and you're maintaining and you're literally minding your own business, you've learned to say no. You've learned the emotional intelligence. So you've learned to pick your battles. When you walk, just walk across the street and get away from it. And when you engage, you learn that, because why? You got a spiritual team that you can hear surrounding you, coaxing you, telling you, okay, don't do that, giving you warnings and nudges. So when you are actually absolutely on your path, reparations come. And if they hold back those reparations like a dam, now they've basically told God, okay, I don't want you, we're bigger than you. We're gods. So we're not going to, right? We can all create. We're mini gods. But when you think that you're the big kahuna, and you're going to make the big kahuna look like a dum-dum, then there's issues there. There's big issues there, right? And as I've mentioned this on other TikToks. So I wanted to say, do not be afraid. Don't give up, because I know, because I was at that point, I was at that brink, because they were doing stuff to me in my sleep that caused me to literally, Phoenixes, wake up like I needed to, my head spinning and wanting to throw up, thinking that I needed to call the ambulance. But I knew that it was witchcraft, because as soon as I started praying, it started going away. And what helps me is my saving grace from feeling crazy and literally snapping and going cuckoo is that I can feel. So I can hear what these guys are saying. These guys, I have one who's gone into my memory bank while I'm asleep all the way back to 92. I heard, what was it? I think it was yesterday morning. I heard 92, 93. This same person was in my energy field, and my mouth all of a sudden smelled like throw up. See, when you don't, and I understand that sometimes that you know, the topics that I talk about on my channel, Phoenixes, are a little bit, you know, out of this world, maybe over a lot of people's heads, but it's real. It's real. And I was in my God talk, and I said mama, because that's how I refer to God. That's my title for God, is mama. So I said, mama, look, I said, I have been dealing with, it is so unfair that I have to question whether I can call an ambulance or not, because the attacks against my body and mind, what they are intentionally creating. Last time, 8 months ago, they created, on my birthday, they wanted to kill me on my birthday using witchcraft. So she went in there on her coven, because she's an admitted witch. All of these guys are actually admitted witches, these three. And it's like, wow, you know, I didn't ask for them to admit it. Because I didn't really care. I was too busy trying to figure out my life at that time. So I wasn't trying to go as deep as I've had to go. But this person tried to kill me by creating a heart attack or something. And I remember it hit me exactly at midnight, which was my birthday. It was the day of my birthday. And she hit me. Or it hit me. And I stood there not knowing what to do, because I had been just fine. I had been just fine. There was nothing that was happening to me. And it did not have the symptoms of a heart attack. It just had the symptoms of being like hit, like your body just rocked, like a bomb went off. Right? So I have no idea. I think that somebody was trying to literally swap my soul out for theirs. They thought that, okay, you know, and I don't know. Like I said, I have looked up myself. There are websites that will teach you how to swap minds with somebody, how to swap bodies with somebody, how to do coffee. I mean, all this sick, deranged stuff. People sometimes have too much time on their hands. And even if they don't have too much time on their hands, why are you thinking about trying to destroy somebody else because you're mad at them because they rejected you for whatever reason? People get rejected all the time. So that's what I'm saying. When you deal with people who are toxic and character disturbed, like these demonically possessed cluster B personalities, they have convinced themselves that you have done something wrong to them, and there's nobody else that can convince them otherwise. And they will use many excuses as to why they have to get revenge on you. When the bottom line is that you just bruised their ego. And people get their egos bruised every day, and they don't go after people, right? In this day and age, you wouldn't believe, you know, it kind of seems like everybody's so sensitive, right? Easily offended, right? But those of us who have most emotional intelligence, we can step back and say, okay, yeah, I feel angry, but this is not the time. You know, you have to grow up. You can't act like you're in high school where you're telling people to meet you outside at the parking lot. You know what I mean? No, you can't do all that. You can't do all that, right? So reparations comes from, like, I'm talking about this because of being attacked. So they attacked me on that day. So that was 8 months ago. So then they started attacking me again. Now, mind you, at this point in time, I'm not smoking. I'm heavy into my cardio, right? Because I'm not doing a lot of fasting, because of everything that's going on with the witchcraft and those psychic attacks and whatnot. So I'm just eating below calories, but I'm working out every single day. Now, I was working out every single day Just about. Whether, I mean, not saying that some it would be light, some of it would be extremely heavy, you know. Other times it would be, you know, medium. So when you know yourselves, Phoenix, you can hear what you're saying. You can hear what your spirit team is saying, and you can hear when a demon possessed creature comes in and starts trying to change your destiny, because they're mad. They're mad because they can't go on it with you. And this is really no joke. That is really honestly what they are mad about. We can't go on it with you because we're not built the way that you're built. We don't want to see you flourish because if we can't share it, we can't manipulate you somehow. If we can't have, that's why these guys want to have sex with me so bad. And it's not because, I mean, I'm attractive, but I'm not like, you know, model gorgeous, right? I'm attractive. I can hold my own. I'm intelligent. You know, I mean, I got good qualities. But I do not give my pearls to swine, and they get mad. They start throwing temper tantrums. You know, people with cluster B personalities, and especially, you know, borderline personalities, they will throw tantrums when they don't get something that they feel that they deserve, even though they haven't earned it. So people who continue, like these guys, it's beyond reparations now. It's kind of like your bloodline is in debt to my bloodline. But because I know myself, I called it into manifestation. And I tell you what, people are talking, oh, well, this is how to get your manifestation up and stuff, and to happen quicker. The reason why your manifestations, I don't have to do, because I've done the work, nothing that I say returns unto me void. As long as my voice does not waver and I say it with conviction, it's there. I stated to them, your whole entire bloodline is in debt to mine now. We are set for the rest of our lives, no matter what level or dimension. We are set because these women won't leave me alone. The people that they've paid or, you know, had sex with or threatened or whatever, I don't know what you would have to do to get another human being to attack another human being. But whatever they did do, because one week I was being attacked over and over and over again. They were trying to stage something to get me to come out of character, though I was willing to. I almost did, but you know, I had that emotional intelligence. I didn't need an angel to hold me back this time like I did the first time. You know? So reparations, spiritual reparations come first. And then they materialize as you go on throughout your life. But they're not going to come if you don't know what to call for. And you don't know what to call for because you haven't done your work. Because see, now that I know my worth, I know I've done nothing to these cluster B personalities practicing gang stalking. Right? So, yeah. So the other one was, I was going to talk about cowardly attacks is what causes them to be in debt, but you have to state that, right? Because as soon as I stated that, it's something changed in the atmosphere where they're like, oh crap, we're not going to get away with this. No, you're not. You know, so in the importance of mind and thought healing is, you know, you have to change your mind, right? And you change your mind by, again, clearing out the clutter of toxicity. You got to, you know, remove from the root, on a cellular, molecular level, these things that you have still been holding on to that are weighing you down, because these are the first things. You may not know it's there, but they do. They do. Like I said, I've had these broads doing readings on me. Why are you getting a reading on me? when my life is none of your business? You know, I've never understood it. Why get a reading on somebody who you're not affiliated with because they're hoping that they can do a body snatch because they've done it before? If I can change your destiny, if somebody can change the destiny of somebody who's about ready to be blessed for all their hard work. And when I say hard work, Phoenixes, I mean, this is not the first time that I have had to protect my life. This is not the first time that I have seen my life flash before my eyes because of heartbreak. Was initially when it first started happening, was because I was heartbroken because I lost everything. And I had to start over again, and I was shamed and embarrassed. But I couldn't stick in that energy. I finally was just like, okay, well now, since I have no pride, my pride goes before the fall. So now, you know, looking at myself, what the hell can I do to get out of this and never have this happen again? As a matter of fact, I want to be able to buy property. I want to be able to have foster kids. I want to be able to give back, to be a lender and not a borrower. How do I get there? Because I keep hearing this talk. But what is it? Because I feel on the outside I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And it was just on the outside that I was doing what I was supposed to do. I got a little bit of work in there, but I didn't do too much because I still wanted to just kind of be la 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 la, you know? And I had a lot of fears because of my experiences from childhood on. I had a lot of fears. Even though I've always been on my soul journey, you know, we still go through life, and people like to throw debris at us, right? Because they know that we're healed, and they assume, oh, you got it too good. There are people who actually do think that. Did you know that? They don't know you from Adam, Eve, but they think, oh, you got it too good, so you need some more trauma in your life, and they will create it. How many times did I go to film school and just to be deep-throating white supremacy, sexism? We didn't even get to cover it if there was a Black History Month in the semester. We didn't get to cover anything of anybody of color. So, I mean, a few Asian Americans, a few, you know, I mean, like that was, I think that was it, really. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, you had to, if you wanted to know anything about your own culture, you had to go study it. You had to go study it. But these guys actually think that because when I was on the streets, here's a prime example. When I was homeless and on the streets and I was pushing a cart, Phoenixes, these guys could not stand it. I mean, like literally could not stand it that I was smiling. And you know what? I was smiling because I felt delirious at times because I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping, Phoenixes. That's why I was smiling. But that offended people. And you may be asking, it's like, okay, well, why are all these people so focused on what I'm doing? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I'm not the one with the character disturbance. But that's the answer, because they have a character disturbance and they have a grandiose sense of self. But they know enough to not get caught doing what they're doing by everybody else around them. So it's been really hard It's been really hard, especially when you when you have people who want to kill you. I mean, and there's nobody that you can go to. There's nobody I can go to but God, Phoenixes. There's nobody that I can go to but God. and there's nobody that cares, right? I have the succubus is absolutely in a psychosis, so she can't, she's determined to get back in my energy field, and I don't have any idea why, but again, as a narc coach, I understand why, but still as a human, I'm like, oh, this is boring and tiring already. Get a life of your own, you know? And it's weird because, again, these guys are always going to have multiple partners because they don't like being alone. Because they don't, they know that they're meeting somebody like me. And that's a detriment. They have abandonment issues. And abandoning them for somebody or something more healthy and fulfilling is a no-no. These are the type of people who cause car accidents. I knew the succubus who had a husband, which I thought she was absolutely peculiar to me, because it was like, gosh, this is the poster children. It was like she kept going back and forth between her husband and me and whoever else she was seeing, and trying to juggle us all. But I was like, I never asked you to juggle me. I never asked you to help me out in anything, because I'd already been, as I started to say, Phoenixes, I'd already been working 40 hours a week, right? Making good money, saving up, But when she got that rejection, because what they'll do is they'll try and give you a breadcrumb and act like they've done so much for you. I just met this woman, so it was absolutely bizarre for her to ask. And even her husband had said, you don't know her. And she was like, so we'll get to know each other. That's somebody who doesn't have emotional intelligence. You're a 40-year-old woman, and you don't have the emotional, because I asked her, like, aren't you thinking about your kids? I said, no, I'm not going to move in with you, because I've done that before and that didn't work, and it hasn't. Right? I had made it before when I was homeless, but I was couch surfing for 6 months. Even finally got a job that I absolutely didn't like. It was emotionally draining. And was working. So I worked for those 4 months, stacked up money, thought that I was going to get a place of my own. Right? Couldn't that too. So anyway, just all these people in her life, and she went about trying to break me down so that she could come in and play the hero. That's another tactic of cluster B personalities. All right. So yes, she went about trying to get me fired from my job. doing witchcraft on my finances, started sending me negative energy about my weight or about my race or about my belief system. That people assume that I'm a Christian because I quote from the Bible sometimes, a few scriptures, but and it's not like I'm quoting verbatim, but that's neither here nor there. I'm a spiritualist. I'm not a religionist. But she started making fun because she wanted to break me down so that way I would be like her, drink and drug and not take responsibility for my actions, not live as an adult. She was having a hard time being an adult. But she had so much time on her hands that she would literally make false complaints against, trying. The virtual signaling is when a cluster B personality will claim that, oh, well, I don't do that. I'm pious or whatever. Let's say, for instance, I've had, and because what they say that they don't do is exactly what they do. One of them said to me, I would like to take out people who hurt kids and animals. And she does both. She's done both repeatedly, as a matter of fact. That's a way of life for their gang membership. That's part of the perks, I guess you could say, is breaking people down. And one of the ways of breaking people down is, traumatizing them. So she was a part of that. And she doesn't want everybody to know because she doesn't want to lose any more clients for her DJing business. But, she only has 2. But anyway, so yes, it's very hard. It's sometimes it's hard to explain to other people, but this is what we go through, Phoenixes, as light workers, as earth angels, as empaths, right? This is what we go through. It's like we're always thinking that we're not enough, but the fact of the matter is, Phoenixes, when you gain your confidence back by giving other people back all those negative things that they said about you that were never true because it was about them. They were revealing how they felt about themselves. So when you give all of that back to them and you come from a place of knowing yourself, where you're not stuck, you will be that somebody dared to try you. Oops. That somebody dared try you. You won't tolerate it because you'll realize, wait a minute, because see, you're not that one. There are so many subtle ways. Like when you start looking, when you clear out your attic, you literally look for the bigger things, the things that you're more willing to let go of and discard and throw in the garbage. That when you get down to the ones that, oh, well, yeah, that hornet's nest has been there since I was a 5-year-old kid. So, it's not hurting anybody. There's no hornets in it. But it kind of looks, it's like decoration. It's just part of the family, it's a memory, right? Little do you know, sometimes it's hurting you at the time, Phoenix. When it's not hurting us at the time, it's not glaring. We pass it over. We skim over it. When what we really need to do is say, nope, let me look at this. Because this has been in here. It's almost petrified wood. It's been in there. It's petrified wood. What do I do with it? Right? And that's my job as a life coach, is to get you to see what needs to be done. Get you to see how irrelevant, how useless it is for you to keep that. Right? So people, again, they will they will be, I mean, and it's weird because most of the time you won't even know who these people are. You don't know who these people are. But they're hell bent now because you've been winning for so long. I remember I was only getting literally like 16 hours a week. Then I got 24 because I went from getting 32 to getting 16. Then they gave me 24. And I literally I had to pray. I was fasting. So, I mean, I'm no stranger to fasting. But people say, oh, these come out by prayer and fasting. I'd like to see a different, the original scripture. Because I will tell you, like, I'm not trying to take anything out of anybody, because if you made a pact with it, that's on you. You know? That's the way that I feel about that. If you made a pact with it, that's on you. Not my business. But I finally built back up, but they had spent, so while they were attacking me, my mind and my body, trying to make me sick, trying to make me think that I was dying, right? Like, the attacks happened still after I quit smoking. I wasn't smoking anything. I thought maybe that was the problem, and it really wasn't. But it was a good thing that I quit smoking, right? My heart was, just doing things. I'm telling you, these guys will literally superimpose themselves, a fragmented piece of themselves, into your body and start messing around with your organs, Phoenixes. That's what I'm saying. When you know yourself and you know you are so in tune to your body and how he or she ticks, that your ship ticks, how it works, like when it dings like that, okay, that means that I need to check the spark plugs or whatever, right? Because this is your ship. So when you know how it works, you know when you have foreign objects coming in there. You know when it's breaking down. You know when you have an intruder. And also, you're not caring what other people say about what you know. You're not caring about it. So this is when you get to claim that you get reparations. You get to claim, declare, and decree. This is where the declarations and decrees come from, because when you know what you are and who you serve and who your bloodline is and what your purpose is, and when people try and thwart you from being on your purpose, you can call them out. You can definitely call them out. So, and that's what I desire for you guys to learn, Phoenixes, is your own power. It's your own power. So yes, people get jealous when you keep beating them at their game because you're listening to the Most High, right? They think, I had this happen tonight. I have this happen a lot. That's why I said sometimes when I was on the streets, it's like the Bible, everything that I learned actually had a deeper meaning. It wasn't just this surface story, right? Because scriptures would come up to me. I'd be like, oh, wow, Jiminy Christmas. Like, here we go. I guess that was some real stuff there. That was real. But one thing is, when you're listening, I've had it happen to me twice where they've tried to navigate, kind of direct the path that I would go to and from work. And I had that last night when I was on my way to work, graveyard. So I was on my way to work, and I had them doing stuff last night, which was just, I can tell that it's staged, dude, and across the street, see, when you learn to say no, when you learn that you don't have to cater to other people's emotions or insecurities, you walk across the street. If they got their feelings hurt, cool. That's on you. You can get a counselor, or you can sign up for a session with me. I don't know. I don't care. But there was somebody that was at the hiding in the cut at the bus stop. I said, you know, doesn't mean that anything would happen, but it's the weirdest thing that sometimes people just get gratification off of knowing that you're scared. They get satisfaction out of that. If people know that you're scared, they get satisfaction. So, but I don't care to them anyway. I'm going to feel the fear. I'm going to cry, you know, especially now that I'm not smoking and I feel everything. So I'm not being numbed out, right? Especially since my body is literally purging because of all the cardio I've been doing. You know, it's raining now, so you got to slow it down. But, you know, I mean, it's a good thing because I really wouldn't have. But yeah, so people will think you, I wrote down, said people will think that you got it easy, but they don't know your family tree, you know? Sometimes instead of crying, some of us laugh. Some of us see the humor in what we're going through. Like they were attacking me so heavy, and I still, Phoenixes, had to take the train to one site, take the train back on the opposite direction to another site. I had to go to work. God forbid that something happened to my baby girls. If something happened to me, I had to go to work. And I was under heavy, violent attack. Watching my life, it seemed, flash before me. And I cried. And I got angry. And that wasn't the only thing. Like, I realized, I journaled the other night. I said, you know what? It just dawned on me, Lord. I said, this just dawned on me, Mama. Said, this just like dawned on me, Mama, that they tried to kill my two babes, not the grandbaby, my two babes and myself and me. Where do they do that at? Right? So when people think that you got it easy now, but they don't know literally the blood, sweat, and tears that you had to go through. I had to go through the fact that I may slump over and die because somebody did some type of horrendous voodoo, witchcraft, whatever spell on me. Because I actually had to get checked by called the 911, the emergency on my phone. I had to get checked. And they said, there's nothing wrong with you. They said, everything's fine. I said, okay. And I figured it. Because I asked, I said, because normally I wouldn't even have called. I would have just, you know, gotten over it and kept walking. And see, that's the bad thing. When people interfere with your life, but they don't want to pay the receipts. So now I got a medical bill. They don't want to pay the medical bill. You cause me hell. You cause me distraction. You cause me to spend what is not in my budget, being what I wouldn't have to spend or what I wouldn't have to be distracted. I wouldn't have to be pushed back if I was just left the hell alone. And so we start being hard on ourselves. And I said, no, Phoenix, just wait, because that dam, everything that they've been holding back, that dam is collecting interest in the form of precipitation. All that water in that dam that they've been backing up and holding back, not wanting you to get it, hoping somehow that they can body swap with you or mind swap with you or meld themselves into your essence, into your energy field, so somehow they can enjoy it. You ever had somebody riding along with you, like you get paid and they want to spend your money? Talking about, oh, I was just thinking about you. No, I can think about me. I already got plans for this. Already got plans for this. So that's what I'm saying, Phoenix says. The only reason why I am still here, and I am so passionate about getting you through my 4 steps of reveal, heal, grow, and show via these 5 workshops, that I'm conducting is because, Phoenixes, there are so many people that I see, don't see the light in their eyes. I don't see them. I see them being very immature and always on the reactive end, always getting mad because somebody has something that they don't. I've bottomed out on this already, right? I've really bottomed out on this. But also because I went through it, I know what it's like to say by any means necessary and mean it. It sucks. I don't want to keep seeing my life flash before my eyes. It really does suck. And I had to cry. I'm tired of being attacked by wackadoodles. It sucks. Tired of being attacked by a woman who is already preoccupied, who has kids on top of everything, who still wants to make me pay for rejecting her. Like, you know, instead of just maturely moving on. Because that's all that the woman would have to do. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit old school because I'm thinking when you get rejected, then you just move on or you just go into hiding. You know? You don't keep going after the person thinking that they don't know because you're doing a witchcraft. But we have been conditioned to take on the sins of others, inverted, because we're expecting, waiting for people to own up to their hurt, the hurt that they caused, but they have no empathy. That was another thing that the Most High brought up to me, I guess for myself too. I don't do this anymore, but a lot of people are waiting for somebody who's like, okay, well, you know, we end up having to process other people's sins and other people's poor choices and bad behaviors through dumping or projecting energetically, psychically, or in the material. And, you know, we're waiting for them to take it back. No, you got to give it back, Phoenixes. Again, I use this, the example from my dad when, you know, him being a sexual predator, and I was blamed for something that he had done to a family member, and I had nothing to do with it. He still won't admit it to this damn day. He smiles, you know, they invite him to the barbecue, and it's not, he hasn't changed his ways. I mean, you know, but I guess for them, saying that he's given his life to Jesus Christ, watching TVN and all that, is something that you know is touching for some of these guys. But one thing that I will attest to is when before I got onto this level, when I said, or I did some work, and I said, you know what? I am not, this guy has been blaming me for years and I'm tired of it, right? I'm tired of it. When I wrote him a letter telling him, and I was scared out of my wits because this guy was nuts. But I told him, I said, I didn't do this, you did, and I've been blamed for it all my life, and I'm giving it back to you. I felt an energetic shift to where I was no longer holding it. And the next time I saw him, his teeth were all yellow, his, you know, gut was raw. I mean, he just looked nasty. Because why, Phoenixes? When you're dealing with people with cluster B personalities, when you're dealing with toxic people and character disturbed, because they are able to use you as the dumping ground, as the garbage can, because they're able to use you, they are lighter. That's what makes them look young, because you are literally taking on their energy. Because why? They're projecting it to you. It's not just in verbal. Part of the definition of projection is, oh, well, you know, I can't, the cluster B personality doesn't want to talk to their other partner about how they feel, right? They're upset with them. They don't want to talk to them, though. So what they do is they project onto you the anger that they feel for them. But another thing is let's say that they're sickly and you're a healer and they know it. right? You're a healer. They will hold on to you energetically. And projecting or transference is, I think, is what it's called too. How they do that energetically is sending you their elements until it manifests within you. That's what they've been doing now. Somebody is in either a psychosis or had a brain, something happen with their brain. Something happened with their wrist. Something happened with everything that in their body. And I was feeling it, been feeling it, right? And I have to keep sending it back. I have to keep blocking it too because I get tired of sending it back. So just block it. It's like, no, just deflect it. They know they're not supposed to send me anything, you know? But you got to get to know yourself, and you got to be able to stand in your power with confidence, Phoenix. Because if you don't, you won't know how to call forth your reparations, how to clear your bloodline, how to reclaim your bloodline, and call forth the debt that these people owe you for attacking you for being nothing but a child of the Most High, for being in your purpose, for wanting to be in your purpose nonetheless, and for going through your dark nights of the soul with a smile on your face, or with, you know what I'm saying, or after a bout of tears. So I just wanted to say that to you guys. I'm going to go on a break so I can get some work done for the social media, and especially my Patreon. Again, go check it out. The link tree is in the description box. And remember, Phoenixes, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise.